Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, special coverage of the late pick 4 at Aqueduct on Gotham Saturday. Races 6 through 9, 50-cent minimum bet. Race number 6 is at 1 mile and 70 yards. The first leg of this late pick 4. It's a starter allowance race. Now we've got several stretch out sprinters, and I know usually you don't like those kind of horses.
Yeah, usually I don't, and I don't in this race either. I'm taking, let's say, 2 positions in this race. One of those is I don't want the horses stretching out, and I know that both the 2, Benet and the 3, Shuffle Up, have some figures that suggest they'll be contenders in this race. Even really Big Bird, the 4, is a fringe contender stretching out in distance, but I don't want those horses. And I mean, doesn't it just sort of feel like Shuffle Up and Benet? I mean, don't they got to get involved on the pace in this race? Investigator, who has the rail, he's probably a speed too. I don't know. I don't want these horses, Dan.
Let's take a look at Mike's ticket with the first leg of this 50-cent late pick 4. And he's going to go with the 5, Planet Trailblazer, and the 7, Going Strong. Both of these horses seem like they're very comfortable at route distances.
Yeah.
Planet Trailblazer especially, because last time out there was no pace, and he was just on hold in behind horses turning into the stretch. I thought all in all it was a good effort because that winner just ran away in the stretch. I think he fits very well from a pace standpoint, distance standpoint, fig standpoint.
Right, and it was a fast race that comes out of in that race. I mean, the winner, hard study, the Pletcher horse ran a 90 buyer, just ran away from that field. This horse ran fine, and I thought he got a really good trip, and he just couldn't go with the winner in that race. He won first time out at a big price, a race that totally fell apart, and he made a big run from the back of the pack in there. I have him as an A. I actually really prefer Going Strong.
Right, that's your strong opinion.
I want Going Strong. I don't really have a big excuse for his last race, except that he just didn't break from the gate that well. Rajiv took him back basically last on the rail in that race, and he didn't fire his best shot. His races 2 and 3 back, the first 2 starts in New York. I think if he runs either one of those, in particular the race 2 starts back, where he had an impossible trip and still almost won, I think he'll beat this field if he runs one of those, and I'm going to give him a chance to do it.
Let's take a look at my first leg of this 50-cent late pick 4. Of the stretch outs, I do prefer Benet. I have Shuffle Up in there as an A. I'm thinking of maybe relegating him to a backup when I finally do play this race. Again, we'll be on for all of the pick 4 races at Aqueduct on Saturday, live.drf.com for DRF Live, beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern. I just thought Benet last time out, once he didn't get the lead, he didn't like it. He got a little kick back in his face. He seemed to be climbing early, and he just didn't finish with any kind of gusto. I think he is inside of Shuffle Up. He's going to go, and then it's up to Manny Franco. If he hooks up with Benet, they're both probably going to get their gooses cooked. Right. I thought Benet ran really well. I prefer Planet Trailblazer of the horses that are A's. I think I have Going Strong as a backup. Race number 7 is the second leg. It's an optional claimer for 6 furlong sprinters in. Michael Dubbs got a strong coupled entry in here. Story to Tell, still KRZ. Story to Tell drops out of the toboggan.
Yeah. To me, this race was kind of all about Rudy's entry here, and in particular, Story to Tell. There's a little bit of a layoff since the toboggan, but it's not a big one. Sort of felt to me, though, Dan, if he comes back out of this little break, even close to the form that he was in before the break, I just think he's going to win, and he's not going to be pace compromised in this race either. It's just a good spot for him. I'll trust Rudy to have him ready.
Let's take a look at Mike's Ticketmaker selections with both legs. And he's got the entry, Story to Tell, and still KRZ. Story to Tell likely to be very forwardly placed. Still KRZ, I think, is going to be in tracking position. And they both should be in with a big chance turning into the stretch. Your deep backups are Big Louie D, a horse that kind of mid-moved at Laurel last time out. Time before that, giant number in the mud.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a few races that are fast enough to make him a contender in here, and he's got speed, and he's got Kendrick Carmouche, so I think they're just going to send him in here. And I know that All Right's down to his inside, but All Right is great, or not as great, but as good as his form has been recently for Jacobson. They've been finding really nice spots for him, and Jacobson just keeps wheeling him back into the entries. Different scenario for that horse today with Big Louie D in here, because Big Louie D just might beat him to the front, and that might be all she wrote. I want to use that horse as a backup, and I want to use Vorticity as a backup. Yeah. It's a huge layoff for this horse, but this horse had plenty of potential early on.
He's really the key to the race, isn't he, Vorticity? As we take a look at my Ticketmaker ticket, with the second leg included. I have 1, but it's also 1 and 1A. The folks know what I mean. I'm going to use Story to Tell and still KRZ. I'll also use All Right. Mike's talked about his very, very good form, but this is a hike up in class. Vorticity is my B. You wonder if Cathal Lynch is using this race as a prep maybe for a 2-turn effort next time around. But as Mike mentioned, this horse really ran well last year. Race number 8 is the Grade 3 Gotham. We already have the strong analysis up on DRF.com. From pick 4 purposes, the race goes through El Arib, doesn't it? Let's put up your ticket.
Yeah, the race really does. I mean, I made him my only A in this race. I think you and I sort of both agree on this horse in that I'm not sure how good he really is. It's just a really good spot for him, and I don't know how much money I want to have in against him if he does ultimately just win again. I'll use 3 backups, though, just because I don't know why, but I can't fully trust this horse for some reason. I use the 189.
I agree with you 100%. I think he's supposed to win this race. He's just in the best form. He's been catching the right fields, and he's pretty good.
But we're not going to be surprised if he doesn't win.
We're not going to be surprised if he doesn't win, or if finally the Cinderella story turns back into a pumpkin. But you're going to go with the 4 on top, 1, 8, and 9 as B's. As we take a look at my ticket, I am also going to use El Arib as a fairly solid A. I do have 2 backups, the 9 Cloud Computing for Chad Brown. I'm going to use a little bit of True Timber. I'm not sure he can beat El Arib, but last time it at least was a step up, and he went to his nose at the start and kind of rushed up. It was his best race he ever performed. I think Kieran will have him close to the pace. This is kind of a dubious pace situation. El Arib is supposed to go to the front, but we've seen it so many times that these 3-year-olds, they like to sit off of horses. Maybe he's closer again with this Kieran horse, True Timber.
Yeah, I'd actually prefer, if he was my horse, I wouldn't even want him on the lead in this race. No, I don't think I would want him on the lead.
Not True Timber. I would send El Arib.
Oh, I would send El Arib too. I just don't think that they'll do it. But if they decide to send him, he's fast enough to just go right to the front in this race, and that could be really tough on these horses.
If you're alive going into the finale, good luck.
Take some coverage.
Because let me tell you, this race number 9 is full of horses that are not very trustworthy. It's a 2-turn mile. It's a condition claiming race. Let's take a look at Mike's ticket for the finale, the full Ticketmaker ticket. 4, 8, and 9 are A's, 1, 2 B's, and you know something? I don't blame you at all for looking for maximum coverage.
I don't know what to do in this race. I almost wouldn't be surprised by anybody in here. I feel like the 8, Dan the Man, is sort of the logical
Can't
horse.
trust him.
You know, he ran fine last time, I guess, but it's not like he had some big excuse. His races overall just don't do that much for me. I was sort of hoping that the 9 Only You, I suppose his 2 races off the Asmussen Claim, they're just awful. I don't know what to say about those, but he's got a couple of races for his prior trainer that would make him really tough in here. And in his defense in the last one, I know he didn't run well, but that was a big inside trek. You had to be on the rail, and he was just sort of chasing it from the outside the entire way before he chucked it through the stretch. He's got to be better than that. I got to give him another chance.
Let's take a look at my completed Ticketmaker ticket for this late pick 4 sequence. I'm going to go 3 deep in here and use them all as A's. Storm the Shore needed 16 tries to break his maiden. He did so on the lead, and I just wonder if in this case, it's going to be a similar situation. He's going to be hustled out of there, Mike Luzzi. He's going to try to control the pace, and turning into the stretch with these horses chasing him, that's not a bad place to be.
Right.
I'm expecting Smart Russian to run a lot better in his second start off a long layoff for a barn that sent out live horses. He's got a nice inside post position as well. Dan the Man, as you mentioned, is very logical, but there's nothing spectacular about him at all. And he at least was a price last time out. This time out, he might be the favorite of the second choice.
I mean, he might just win this race, but I don't know if I'd want all my eggs in his basket for the pick 4.
It's a fun sequence, races 6 through 9, including an important Kentucky Derby prep. That's the Gotham, race number 8. Approximate post time for the first leg of the late pick 4 at Aqueduct on Saturday, 3:50 Eastern. Best of luck.